This is Chuck Jennels and welcome to my channel. This morning I'm going to do something a little different than the typical dredging or metal melting. I'm going to do a video on where to find the best and biggest gold. And it should seem easy, but it's really not. It's more complicated than you would think. So that's what the plan is going to be today, just because we have no water up here in the mountains right now in Arizona, and the desert's going to be 100+ degrees today, so I'm working inside. It can be anywhere, a creek like this. It can be even a river can flow like this. The blue arrows show the flow of the water. Okay. The red arrows are showing the gold path through this whole creek area. Now there's different things that will happen in a creek. That flow will stay just like it is unless there's an obstruction. And as you can see, this obstruction here, and I've run into this a couple, maybe not this many, but this is like a flat rocks laying across the creek. So you have natural riffles here, and your gold's going to lay in on the other side of those flat rocks. And where it starts up here, this is where cobbles would lay in and where your gold would lay on this first corner. So now typically what will happen in a creek is as the water flows, it will go around this bend, but your gold path will be corner to corner like it is here. So you'll get some lay in right here, more gold. And as it flows this way, if there's no obstructions is the key thing, it'll hit this other inside bend. So actually you're having a straight line from inside bend to inside bend, and from this inside bend to this inside bend, and then you've got this. And this is not infrequent to happen, is to have a log fall in here. So now you have some different things going to happen. You're going to have a slight buildup of gold right here. It's going to change the flow of the water to around to this side, so you're going to have a slight buildup of gold right here on that side. And of course you're going to have a little bit, depending if you're getting underflow under the log or just overflow, you can probably lay in a little bit of gold right here. But now the path has changed a little bit wider, and you're going to have a little bit of lay in here and cobbles lay in on this inside bend, which would be in a straight line from this one still. But you're going to have just a little bit of lay in here now, just downstream from that. So now your flow is going to come this way, and it's still going to go to the inside bend. It's going to try not to go to the outside bend. Your fast water is going to be here, your slow water is going to be on the inside of all bends. So and this happens quite frequently too, where the creek will split as it comes around the bend. And it'll lay in a sandbar or gravel bar right here. So what happens when it does that is your gold path splits also and goes both sides. So you will lay in gold here and here and here, and you're going to get a little bit of gold here. And something on any inside bend or on an island like this, this is called the heel of the flow and the heel of the bend. On the heel of a bend, like here, you'll get your bigger gold on the heel than on the toe. You're going to get gold here, you're going to get fine gold here, and you're going to get coarse gold here. The same here, you're going to get coarse gold here and fine gold as you go down. So as the creek continues to flow here, it comes down, and I put one boulder in here. And you're going to have a similar thing happen, but boulders are a little bit different. As your gold comes, it's going to split, and it's going to go around the boulder, and it's going to go around both sides, and it's going to, depending on the flow height, it's going to overflow over the top of the boulder. So where your gold will lay, it will be on the sides, on the back side, and on the front side of the boulder. It'll lay in on all different sides of it. And that's why anytime we see big rocks in a creek, that's where the place is to go. But you want to check on all sides of it, and not just say, well, it's like a riffle, it's going to go here. These are like a riffle, and the gold 99% of the time will be on the downstream side. Here on the boulder, because it's round or oblong or whatever, The gold is going to be on every side of it in some instances, and it depends on how hard the flow is. So when it comes off of that, as it splits, you'll also get down here, right in front of it, maybe in a long line, you'll get a gold buildup. And the same here, and I didn't show this on this island, you'll get it here as it comes together on the lower end of this island. This is usually a really good place to get gold. And then you know it'll continue, and it'll do this same pattern just about everywhere. Now, if you have a creek come in, say a creek comes in here, if that's the case, and your flow is this way, if that creek is carrying gold, the old timers called this the right-hand rule. This is the major creek, and typically your gold will lay in more here, and as your flow is this way in this creek and this way here and here. These will be the two spots. They call it the right-hand rule, and depending on how this creek is shaped, you know, if it's coming in at an angle, coming in straight, or coming in from a lower angle like so, where that gold's going to go. But you'll have that feed also. So that's it for this portion of it. Now, what I also want to show you is what to look for in the creek. You know, obviously you're going to be looking for the rocks and the trees and the island and the inside bends and all that, but there's other indicators in the creek, and I'll show you what those are here in just a second. Okay guys, this is what I wanted to show you. Typically when you go to a creek, everybody seems to want to go for this quartz. This is a piece of bull quartz. It's got a slight trace of rust in it that's would make you think there's iron in it, but there isn't. And this is what we call leave right. Just leave it right where it's at and don't necessarily go there. The next thing you should be looking for is this. And this is just a typical river rock. It's rounded on all sides, and it's just the kind of rock you would look for if the stream's been moving and been running in that area. And this is a good indicator. And another thing that this shows is this. It's slightly magnetized. Not highly magnetized, it's very, very slight. This barely has a pool on it. Now, this rock, again, is similar. Now, it's a dark rock, which is really good. Dark rocks are really good. Dark, red, green, black rocks, they're all good. This one is highly magnetized. As you can see, it holds a magnet all by itself. It's still rounded. Excuse me. It's still rounded, and you can see it's been chipped off in the creek. That is a good rock to find. And this one is also very good. This is obviously a red rock. This rock is also rounded on all sides, but it's not magnetic at all. But this red rock indicates iron, and in this case it's heavy iron. And we find these a lot of times on one of our claims. And when wet, this will turn the water red. It'll turn your hands red. If you're wearing gloves, they'll be red also. But it's when we find these, there's usually really, really good gold there. Next is, this is some more red rock, but it's impregnated with quartz on basically all sides. However, it's not magnetic at all. But I would use that as an indicator just because of its color, that I know there's iron there and there's heavies there. And especially if you find more than one of these. It's a really good area to at least test, you know, to see if you have gold there. Next, let's stay with the quartz. This piece of quartz is really interesting, and in a way it will fool you. This quartz is mineralized. It's got rust stains in it. It's got this that isn't fool's gold even. This is mica or isinglass. It does have rust staining on it that indicates iron, and I'm not sure. And a lot of times it has pyrite, and this one does have a little bit of pyrite through it. And there's a spot on here that I know you can't see, it's way too small, but there's actually a little bit of gold. And gold and pyrite, they're kind of found together sometimes. So gold and copper and pyrite also will be found together, and that's another good indication if you have this in the area where you want to dredge or high bank or sluice or pan even. So although it's not a red or a green or a black rock, it's still a really good one. Now this one is that's actually a piece of serpentine. I don't remember exactly where this came from. If you can find this green rock, this is really a good find here, and it is also magnetized. And so there's iron in this, but it doesn't show on the exterior. It's and for some reason green rocks are really good, and especially if you can do this and it's magnetic, it's really good. This is another. This is one of the black rocks. Now this is magnetite. You can see how it moves everything. You know, it's really magnetic. So you know there's iron there, it's heavies there. Anywhere there's heavies, there's a real high possibility that there's going to be gold there. So that's a really good indicator. You know, as much as the serpentine was. This last one is also a black rock. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not. I'll try to get it in the light maybe. Right on this one edge, right here. I don't know if I can, let me try to zoom in on that. Maybe I can show you this. It's there's a little string of gold. Maybe you can get it closer to you here. I don't know. No, it's not going to show up. But right here, there's a little string of gold on this rock. No, I'm too close. And that gold is because this is a heavy rock. If I can get it in the camera. It's a heavy rock. It's a magnetic rock slightly. It's not as magnetic as the others. I mean, it's a little bit. But it does have the gold right in it, right in that edge. That's the only spot on there. If you look on this side, if it shows up well, it's actually has a reddish tinge to it to show you the iron. So anyhow, all these rocks, you might find some together or be all of one kind in there. I've seen a bunch of red rock in one area, and that's usually a really good place to dig also, because red indicates there's iron in it, or at least an iron oxide. So these are all indicators for you to help you find gold, and with the map and these you should have a lot better luck at finding your gold. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it. We'll see you next time.